from prosecuting the 2020 Georgia election interference case against President Trump.
The case now reverts to the appeals court ruling barring Fani Willis from the case. That court determined her relationship with then Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade presented a conflict of interest. Willis expressed disappointment, but will now hand the case over to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, led by Pete Skandalakis.
Obviously, this is a case that a lot of people are looking at. We will move as judiciously as possible and try to do the right thing.
He will determine whether to assign the case to his office or another conflict DA. Then comes a decision on whether to continue to pursue the charges or dismiss the case entirely. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, partly cloudy this afternoon. An isolated rain shower is possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Your afternoon high around 86. How's the rest of your work week looking? She'll have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. That comes your way at 12:05. Georgia's Democratic primary field for governor has a new addition, former Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan.
Duncan tells WSB, unlike other Democrats in the race, he can win. He says it's important to place issues over politics, especially in light of the assassination of GOP activist Charlie Kirk.
And I'm not going to take the bait of playing toxic politics. We're watching the dangerous, tragic effects of that play out across our country, and I'm going to stay focused on trying to help and solve the problems of Georgians.
He says he's been able to work with both Republicans and Democrats to build consensus on issues like expanding rural health care, hate crimes legislation, and teacher pay raises. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
News since Atlanta's morning news.
1, 2, 3, dig! All right.
Governor Kemp and others, state leaders there, breaking ground on the massive multi-billion-dollar Rivian manufacturing plant east of Atlanta in Morgan and Walton counties. Rivian CEO R.J. Scaringe says it's been a long road to get to today.
Thank you all for being on this journey. Thanks for being on this incredible adventure and helping us turn that beautiful site that we see out there in the distance into a thriving manufacturing facility.
Now, the electric vehicle plant will occupy a 2,000-acre site, and company officials hope to have cars rolling off the line by 2028. A federal judge has dismissed terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in the case over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Allison Keyes has more.
The judge dropped 2 state terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione, including one that accused him of first-degree murder. He says the evidence behind the charges was legally insufficient, but Mangione is still charged with second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Prosecutors say the terrorism charges were warranted and have called the act of frightening, targeted murder.
And Mangione has attracted a cult following from people frustrated with the health insurance industry. As the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination is expected to be charged officially with murder later today, FBI Director Kash Patel is appearing before a Senate panel as his leadership of the agency is reportedly under fire over the investigation. He talked about the probe in his opening statement, saying the FBI works by and for the American people.
It's that mission and that ethos that I brought to this investigation and so many others, and that's why that suspect is in custody. We cannot do our job without the American public and credible reporting in the media, and that's why Tyler Robinson is in custody today.
And Patel also told lawmakers that the FBI is doing a number of things differently and better under his leadership, including apprehending 4 fugitives on the most wanted list. Well, Hollywood legend Robert Redford has died. Michael Wallace has more.
Redford's breakout role was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I'll jump first. Nope. Then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
He followed that with a string of hits in the 1970s, including The Candidate, The Sting, for which he won an Oscar, 3 Days of the Condor, and All the President's Men. Redford later said he felt trapped in those leading man sex symbol roles.
That was very flattering, but it was feeling restrictive.
He became a champion of independent cinema.
Robert Redford was 89 years old. And this is new at noon. The Masters adding more coverage.
In a major coup for streaming services that want to get more sports fans watching, Amazon Prime Video will debut as one of 3 broadcasters of the Masters Golf Tournament from Augusta National Golf Club next April, along with ESPN and CBS, which has aired the Masters since 1956. Now, Prime Video is starting off slowly with just 2 additional hours of first and second round coverage on Thursday, April 9th and Friday, April 10th. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby for 95.5 WSB.
As we check your money, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all in the red. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now with a look at your roads.
Hey, Sabrina. During the lunch hour right now, we're watching the delays on the south side perimeter. It's that rolling construction 285 eastbound, the outer loop from I-675 right now. They're right at Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. They're slowly rolling in 2 left lanes, so that slow zone is going to continue throughout the afternoon while that work is going on. In East Atlanta, still watching this crash clean backing up 20 eastbound at Moreland Avenue, exit 60. 1 to 2 right lanes are blocked there. And if you're trying to get to I-20 through Midtown and downtown, 75-85 southbound on and off the brake pedal from 17th Street down to North Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's meteorologist Christina Edwards.
A mix of sun and clouds this afternoon with an isolated rain shower or thunderstorm possible through the ride home today. High 86, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 87. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, high 88. Staying hot and dry for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is 80 degrees in Woodstock and Holly Springs. Roswell, you have 79 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your noon keyword is SHINE, SHINE, SHINE. Enter the keyword SHINE into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is SHINE, SHINE. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Keyword is SHINE. Good luck.
My fellow Americans, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, delighted to have you. I got to begin on the issue of free speech because the Attorney General, listen, I want to be graceful to Pam Bondi. She did sign on to a brief opposing what the left was trying to do to Jack Phillips, the baker in Colorado, but she has essentially in the last 24 hours taken the left's position in that case. And I know a lot of stress, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people coming at her. She's having to think on her feet. But this is not good stuff, what Pam Bondi has done overnight, and she's tried to walk it back. Let me play you first the two statements, one of which sounds very much like she is the British Attorney General, not the American Attorney General.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech.
With hate speech, there's you understand, please, there's no such thing as hate speech. There's just free speech in the United States. And speech is not prosecutable in the United States. And then she put up a tweet and she says hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence is not protected by the First Amendment. It's a crime. For far too long, we've watched the radical left normalize threats, call for assassinations, and cheer on political violence. That era is over. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 875C, it's a federal crime to transmit any communication containing any threat to kidnap any person or threat to injure the person of another. Likewise, other statutes make it a felony to threaten public officials, members of Congress, or their families. You cannot call for someone's murder. You cannot swat a member of Congress. You cannot dox a conservative family and they will be brushed off as free speech. These acts are punishable crimes, and every single threat will be met with the full force of law. Free speech protects ideas, debate, and even dissent, but it does not and will never protect violence. Now, I agree with her walk back, but that's not hate speech. Those are not hate speech. Those are actionable acts. Swatting someone, this has happened to me, is not hate speech. It's actually an action designed to cause someone harm. You actually can say someone needs to die for something, and it's not a crime in the United States. It's only a crime if your intention when you say it is you're not blowing off steam, you want it done. You can actually say that the president or members of Congress should be shot or whatnot if you're blowing off steam, not if you actually want them to be shot. It's all a matter of intent, and that's not hate speech. If you're sitting on your front porch and you watch, I don't know, the kicker for your favorite college football team in his orange jersey miss a 20-yard field goal that could have won the game against the University of Georgia, and you say that guy needs to be shot, that's not a crime. It's not a crime. You do understand that, don't you? And it's not hate speech. There's no such thing under American law as hate speech. And Pam Bondi now twice in this interview and online says there's hate speech. There's hate speech in Great Britain. And American conservatives have been railing against what's happening in Great Britain, where people are going to jail for saying things that the government decides are hateful. She's absolutely right. You can't dox somebody in this country. You can't incite people to go kill another person. You yourself can't declare you're going to kill that person with the intent to kill that person. But the Supreme Court has ruled it is legal to celebrate violence or advocate, but it's not imminent violence. There is a difference between imminent violence and threats to harm and what you're saying. Now, for those of you who think, Erickson, you don't even know what you're talking about, that's the Attorney General of the United States. I was a First Amendment lawyer. I represented TV stations and radio stations when I practiced law. I'm also a talk radio show host. I can assure you I know exactly what the laws on speech are in the United States, and there's no such thing as hate speech. But it goes beyond that. This is what she also said on Fox News last night, and this is problematic too.
Well, sure, we all believe in the First Amendment, and these people speak horrible things. I think yesterday or today, Sean, a school board member right here in Virginia had to resign because she said horrible things about Charlie Kirk and that he deserved to die. That's horrific. It's free speech, but you shouldn't be employed anywhere if you're going to say that. And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things, and they shouldn't be working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that.
No. You can't be prosecuted for that. That's you. You guys understand this, right? If the government can prosecute a print shop because it didn't want to print flyers for for a rally to honor Charlie Kirk, then Jack Phillips, the baker who didn't want to bake the transgender birthday cake, can be prosecuted for not doing that. This is how does the Attorney General of the United States for a Republican administration not know this? Particularly when Pam Bondi actually signed a brief in defense of Jack Phillips. This is a dangerous, dangerous game that Pam Bondi is playing with this. And unfortunately, I think there are a lot of people who, when it was their side targeted, when the left was coming for us, in our words, they were very much free speech absolutists. But now that it's people on the left who can be targeted, people are like, yeah, screw it, let's go after them and prosecute them. I want to tell you where I am on this because I have spent a lot of time thinking about this because I consider myself fairly well a free speech absolutist. If you want to stand up and say awful, awful, awful things about me, about Charlie Kirk, about the President of the United States, about Jesus Christ, about Muhammad, go for it. You have that right under the First Amendment. Your right to say those things, however, does not mean there won't be consequences in your job or life. That is true. But the government should not be able to prosecute you. Generally, I think anybody should be able to stand up and say awful things about another person and not lose their job. I actually think that some of the people who have lost their jobs for saying Charlie Kirk was an awful person and dancing on his grave, I don't think they should have lost their jobs. However, where I do think you should lose your job is when you go the next step. You're not just dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave and saying he was a horrible person who said horrible things, many of which you're taking out of context. You're saying, so he deserved to die. There are things in a civil society that we must make outcasts from civil society. And the number one overarching thing we must make a pariah in this country is the justification of, defense of, or sanctioning of the death of any American for what they have said politically. Doesn't matter what side they're on. There are people on the left, I do not like them. I don't like what they stand for. I don't like what they say. I don't like what they believe. I think they are wrong. Some of them, I dare say, are evil. Not a single one of them should be executed for what they say, stand for, believe, anything like that. Not a single one. And that should be a foundational belief in this country. You do not get to decide someone should die and no one in this country should die because of their political beliefs. That should be foundational. So I've seen professionals, teachers, and doctors and others lose their jobs because they went on social media and they said Charlie Kirk was a horrible human being. Charlie Kirk was a misogynist. He was a racist. He was some of them called him an anti-Semite. He was whatever. And I don't think those people should lose their jobs. Now, that's between them and their employer, though. However, I have seen doctors, and I have seen teachers, and I have seen members of the military. I have seen a Secret Service agent. I have seen nurses. I have seen, in one case, an electrician. I have seen local TV hosts and others go on social media and say, Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. Violence met with violence. What did you think was going to happen? Those people should lose their job. You got to understand the nuance here. Believe every bad thing you want to believe and be free to say whatever you want to say about me, Charlie Kirk, Jesus Christ, I don't care. But the moment you say he got what he deserved to die, he should have been shot, I'd have made him suffer, you deserve to be fired from your job. In none of those cases do you deserve to be prosecuted because it's your free speech right. There's got to be accountability in society, though, for any American who thinks another American deserves death for their political views, because no American, no matter how abhorrent you think their ideas are, deserves death for their views. That's got to be foundational in a civil society. I'm trying to be graceful to the Attorney General because she's under a lot of pressure. You've got the situation now with Charlie Kirk. She was a friend of his, but it's not helpful for the Attorney General to embrace the idea that there is hate speech in the country, because there's not. And conservatives, people on the right, populists, this will be turned on you the moment Democrats take back power. If you embrace the idea there is hate speech, it will be used against you. I believe marriage is between a man and a woman because I'm an evangelical Christian. I believe transgenderism is mental illness. To the left, that's hate speech. If I want to call Elliot Page Ellen Page, I should have the right to do that. To the left, that's dead naming and that's violence. That's literal. In the idea of the left is that it's literal violence for me to say Caitlyn Jenner is Bruce Jenner or Elliot Page is Ellen Page. No, that's actually violence to them. Goes beyond hate speech. If you go down this path where you believe there's hate speech, it will be turned against you. In the same way, if you believe a business should be put out of business or prosecuted by the government for violating rights because the business says, I don't want to do business with you, it will be turned against the Christian butcher and the baker and the photographer. And before you say, but it has, Erickson, it has, the Supreme Court has stopped that. Jack Phillips still has his bakery shop because Jack Phillips went to the Supreme Court and fought. And precedent has been set. And it should not be those of us on the right changing the precedent. This is very basic, elementary stuff. And again, no one should be prosecuted for these things. I do think, listen, I would not want my kids in the classroom of a teacher who said horrible things about Charlie Kirk after he died if she danced was great. I kind of see the argument for firing that person. There are limits in the private sector to your ability to engage in free speech. My position is I don't want my kid in that person's classroom, but I don't really want anyone fired for saying something I really disagree with. But when that teacher then says he deserved to die, you fire that person. We're not going to agree on a lot as a society anymore. We're too divided. Every single one of us should agree no person deserves to die because of their political views. And unfortunately, there are people on the left who have been very open that they're okay with this assassination because they didn't like Charlie Kirk. And they've been very public on social media, and I think society should shun people like that. Fundamentally believe society should shun people, shame people, teach them a sense of shame, and put them on the unemployment line if they're cheering on an assassination over political views. Because if we don't shun it, if we don't shame it, If we don't, as a society, come together and say this is unacceptable, it's only going to fester more. What you say to your friends in private is a separate thing. If you got on a group chat of your best friends and said, got what he deserved, and one of your friends leaked it out to the press, I would go after the friend, not after you, because you thought you could say something quietly and safely in your circle of friends, and one of your friends betrayed that trust. It's when you go on Facebook and you go on Twitter and you go on Snapchat and you go on TikTok and you go on Instagram for the entire world to see, and you say, got what he deserved, more of this, please. Society needs to step in and say, no. But in none of these cases should the federal government decide it's prosecutable. Because if the federal government decides this is prosecutable against the left, they're setting the precedent that will be used to come after you and me with the next Democrat. And by the way, the Supreme Court has said you can't do this. The Attorney General of the United States should at least know that's the law of the land.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1221 Cool Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. Crash cleanup continues in East Atlanta, 20 eastbound at Moreland Avenue, exit 60. They're trying to get this crash out of 2 right lanes, causing a little bit of a slowdown as you head out toward DeKalb County. On the south side perimeter in DeKalb County, you're on the brakes. 285 eastbound from 675 over to Boulder Crest Road due to rolling construction in 2 left lanes. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your noon keyword is SHINE, S-H-I-N-E, SHINE. Enter the keyword SHINE into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is SHINE, S-H-I-N-E. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Keyword is SHINE. Good luck.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
It's been a year since the last presidential election, and the economy has been on a roller coaster ever since. If you're in the home stretch, looking towards retirement, you may be feeling more anxious than ever about what the next few years could mean for your money. It's Eric Erickson here. If you're over 50 and have $500,000 or more saved for retirement, join me and fellow WSB radio show host, frequent guest on Fox Business with Stuart Varney and Charles Payne, David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management, for a special live event Tuesday, October 7th at 6 p.m. at the Marietta Country Club. We'll break down what the post-election economy means for your retirement and the opportunities and risks that could impact you over the next year. Seating is very limited, so bring a spouse or a friend, enjoy food and drinks, and receive information that may help preserve your future. This is a registration-only event. Call 404-890-5606 or visit nicholaswealth.com to reserve your spot. Again, it's me, Eric Erickson, with David Nicholas, Tuesday, October 7th at 6 p.m. at Marietta Country Club. Don't miss it. Call 404-890-5606 or go to nicholaswealth.com. That's 404-890-5606 or nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and particular needs of any person who listens to the show. Eric Erickson is a current client and is paid for this ad.
The last thing on your mind is maintaining your septic system. It's all good until it's not. Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. Don't wait for a septic emergency. Our affordable, routine maintenance will keep your system running smoothly.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic. Never a pump out charge with your repair. Get a free quote at scorpionsepticservices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All the information without the spin. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here. I don't know who Valerie is. Valerie Lewis, it looks like, on TikTok. I'm not going to give her user account. Let me describe what she did. She turned on her recorder, her video recorder on her phone, in the parking lot of a Starbucks. Went in through the door, went up to the cash register, held her phone in the face of the cashier, and told the cashier to write Charlie Kirk on the woman's coffee cup. And the girl very politely says, no, that would be a political message. Who's in the wrong here? Y'all, I'm sorry, but the bad guy in this is Valerie, not the Starbucks employee. And you've now got a mob on social media coming for this girl. This was a setup. This woman intended to go in and be provocative. She intended to do this. She intended to get her 5 minutes of fame, causing pain to someone else, because she wanted to use Charlie Kirk's name to get an employee at Starbucks in trouble if they wouldn't write it on the cup. I'm sorry here, but you need to understand that the employee is not the bad guy in this video, and Valerie is the bad guy in this video for trying to do something like that. And shame on her for trying to get the Starbucks employee into a situation where the employee was not comfortable. That's not what you should be doing in response right now. Valerie is bad. Now, let me tell you about Americans for Prosperity. They would love to have you on their side. They are big advocates of freedom and big advocates of common sense conservative reform, and they would love to have you on their side. All you got to do is go to afpvolunteer.com. But more importantly right now, they want everybody, including Valerie, to take one step for freedom in their community. And if 250,000 of us do, well, we've got 250,000 steps for freedom in this country. And I personally think that each of us should be committed to taking a step for freedom. You can find out more and how you can participate at afpvolunteer.com. That's afpvolunteer.com. Join Americans for Prosperity. Take a step for freedom in this country. One small step for freedom in this country. Each of us doing it, we can meaningfully impact the future of this country and get us back to the founder's vision. afpvolunteer.com. Go check them out today.
Don't be late because you crowdsourced your commute with a navigation app.
This might become a travel advisory. Yeah, they're in 2 left lanes.
Depend on us.
See some delays if they shut that ramp down.
Make sure you get where you need to be on time.
Jam starting at Langford Parkway, getting past Spring Street.
Local and dependable traffic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
WSB Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. The Democratic primary field for governor now includes former Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. He tells WSB,
Democrats have not gotten enough votes. I'm the only candidate who can show up in November of 26 and get Democrats, independents, and those disgusted Republicans to show up and vote for us.
Duncan says he is running to take on President Trump and address issues facing Georgians. He joins a field of other Democratic candidates, including former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and former DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman. Your weather for today, partly cloudy and isolated rain showers possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Your afternoon high right there around 86. Georgia's highest court declines to consider Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis's appeal of her removal from the Georgia election interference case against Donald Trump and others. The case will now be handed over to Georgia's Prosecuting Attorneys Council, which is led by Pete Skandalakis.
And when the case does get to us, we're going to be looking at appointing a conflict prosecutor for the matter.
Now, the conflict prosecutor will then decide whether to proceed or dismiss the case. The Georgia Court of Appeals previously ruled that Willis and her office could not continue with the case due to, quote, an appearance of impropriety created by a romantic relationship that she had with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, whom she had hired to lead the case. A judge has dismissed terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in New York State's case over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, but the judge kept the state's second-degree murder charge against him. You're going to be able to watch more of the Masters on TV come next spring. Amazon Prime Video joining the official broadcast lineup in 2026. They'll stream 2 hours of live coverage during the first 2 rounds on Thursday and Friday before handing off to ESPN. On the weekend, Paramount Plus will stream early play in the final rounds, followed by CBS coverage. This brings the total broadcast and streaming time up to 18 to now 27 hours of Masters coverage. It's 12:32.
Y'all, it's Eric. Windows 10 is sunsetting. End of support on October 14th of this year. It's also my anniversary. No end of support for my marriage, just end of support for your computer if you're on Windows 10. You got to update. Now, what does that mean, end of support? It means Microsoft is going to stop issuing security patches for your computer if you're on Windows 10. So you actually do need to update for your own good and safety, and Vision Computers can help you transfer to Windows 11. How do you do it? You call them at 404-COMPUTE and say, Eric sent you, I need some help. They can get you upgraded to Windows 11. It is for your own good and safety and that of your company that you move to Windows 11 because of the security updates, if nothing else. So call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. Tell them Eric sent you. You might be able to save some money. You got to get it done before October 14th. Because you're not going to get security patches from Microsoft after that for Windows 10. Let Vision Computer take care of you. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com.
Properties come in all shapes and sizes, and so do foundation repairs. Mark Beckham here. It could be new construction, a big house, a small house, or your commercial property. Anyway, you need the leaders in foundation repair to handle it. Get your free estimate at atlantaramjack.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
If your floors feel bouncy and uneven, it's time for AquaGuard Foundation Solutions Crawl Space Experts. Simply go to aquaguard.net and set up an appointment. It's fast and it's easy, and your floors will appreciate you. AquaGuard, the trusted local experts. Remember, AquaGuard.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams.
And sounding the traffic red alert on the south side, Sabrina, nasty crash here. All lanes are shut down. 285 eastbound, the outer loop, Moreland Avenue, exit 53. Delays already back toward Jonesboro Road. You can use I-20 eastbound and north of 285 as an alternate, or if you're coming up from the southern suburbs, take 675 north. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy skies today with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. High 86.
More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Greetings. The phone number 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, don't forget to text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. I'll get to phone calls here in a minute, but I need to say something and bring you up to speed on something that's happening in New York City. Progressives are outside the courthouse where Luigi Mangione is having a hearing. And a judge there in New York has thrown out terrorism charges against Mangione. The crowd went wild. They're holding up signs supporting Mangione. Progressives are rooting for a man who murdered the CEO of an insurance company, leaving behind his wife and kids. Mangione is the one who wrote on the shell casings, undoubtedly inspiring Tyler Robinson to do the same when he assassinated Charlie Kirk. Mangione is not the hero of the story, and yet for some on the left, he's become the hero of the story, and they're cheering him on. Now, you should know I agree with the judge's decision. Oftentimes prosecutors overcharge individuals, and judges throw out some of the charges. I have read the New York statute on the terrorism charges, and they really did not fit. And I think the judge is right in his decision that terrorism doesn't really cover one's passionate domestic political views on things like that. There wasn't really an agenda-driven, fear-driven stuff here. He hated the insurance CEO and wanted to shoot him. He's being charged. The charges for murder aren't being dismissed. And there are some people online who thought the judge threw out the murder charges. That's not it at all. There were some related terrorism charges, and I don't think they fit based on the plain reading of the New York statute that allows those terrorism charges. So I think the judge got it right. But what's wild to me is the crowd cheering that somehow Mangione's been benefited. He's still going to either go to jail for life or get the death penalty for what he did if he's found guilty. But the left is out cheering this. Now, this comes on top of a YouGov survey. 25% of Americans who identify as very progressive believe that violence can be used against political opponents. 25%. What's really startling in the numbers is the younger you go, the more violent it is. Most Americans say it's unacceptable to be happy about a public figure's deaths, but younger and more liberal Americans are more likely to call it acceptable. 24% of very liberal people say, and by the way, 20% say they're not sure. Can you be happy about a public figure's death? 25% of very liberal people, and by the way, 14% say they're not sure, so 39% totally. Oh, and 6% prefer not to say. 6% prefer not to say. Most Americans across the political spectrum say political violence is never justified, but more liberal Americans are more likely to disagree. So 25% of liberals, of very liberal people, say it is acceptable, political violence is justified. 6% say they don't want to say how they would answer the question. That in and of itself is telling. And by the way, for conservatives, just so you understand, it's like 3%. For people who are listed as very conservative, 3% say political violence is justified. This is a warning sign that the violence we're seeing coming in society right now, so much is from the left. And the left is working overtime to try to deny there's violence on their side. Heather Cox Richardson is one of the most widely read Substack writers in the country. She's the other day declared that Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's assassin, was from the right. It's not true, but her readers will be told he's from the right, and they'll believe her. CBS News last night interviewed a guy from a think tank who tried to say that Tyler Robinson's views are actually nihilistic violence. It's not actually politically motivated. It's just nihilistic violence. You got that? They're not going to say he's on the right, but they're not going to say he's on the left. He's just nihilistic. He just wanted to cause violence. That's it. By the way, the same expert has in the past tried to get the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's website, censored for being extremist. They can't bring themselves to acknowledge the festering bad things happening on the left. On the left, you are told you have less than 10 years before this planet goes away unless you do something. On the left, you are told that the Nazis are in charge and we're going to have an authoritarian dictatorship if somebody doesn't stop Donald Trump. On the left, we are told words are violence and can be responded to with violence. There's a festering darkness on the left, and the best the media can do is say, well, it's happening on the right too. But no one on the right attempted to assassinate Donald Trump, and no one on the right attempted to assassinate Charlie Kirk, and people on the left in the media are overwhelmingly insistent that actually, yes, it was someone on the right. And here's the thing. Forget about Tyler Robinson's ideological motivations. You know what? Forget about the shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, and his ideological motivations. It just happens to be that all the people cheering it on are on the left. And that in and of itself is a problem. Again, say whatever you want to say. I don't think you should be prosecuted for it. But we live in very, very dangerous times when the more liberal you are in this country, the more comfortable you are saying violence is a solution. You have Democratic members of Congress telling Axios, the website, that they live in fear of their constituents. One member of Congress on Background told Axios that the problem right now is that the Democratic base wants blood. And he meant literal blood. And the Democrats aren't brave enough to stand up to their base. The media is not brave enough to stand up to their audience. And the violence continues to fester such that you now have liberals standing outside a courthouse in New York City cheering on a murderer who murdered a husband and father because they don't like insurance companies. This is a dangerous sign for the future of the Democratic Party. Phone number 877-973-7425. Let's go over to Montgomery, Alabama. Chad's listening. Welcome back, Chad. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Eric? How you doing?
Good. So what do you think about this free speech stuff?
Well, Pam Bondi never fails to disappoint. If there were a trophy for unmet expectations, she'd probably forget to pick it up.
Probably.
I mean, I'm still waiting on the Epstein list that's on her desk, which we've never gotten. Yeah, I'm of the Scalia view, and I think you are too, and that is free speech is pretty much absolute unless you're advocating immediate violent actions that you can absolutely carry out, right then and there. And we have cases clearly out of the Supreme Court that allow all kind of hate speech, race, sex, national origin, all that kind of stuff. I always liked Scalia's quote that he had in the flag burning case that was out of Texas. You'll probably remember the Texas versus Johnson case back in like 1989. He said, if it was up to me, I would put every sandal-wearing, scruffy-bearded weirdo in jail who burns the American flag, but I'm not the king. We have a First Amendment which states that the right to free speech shall not be abridged, and it is addressed in particular to speech critical of our government. I can't believe we have an attorney general literally going out there, a Republican attorney general going out there and even using the term hate speech. Now, that doesn't mean private businesses can't fire people who make comments like that are inconsistent with their values as a business. That happens all the time. I recommend, the employers fire people all the time unless they are, of course, challenging the terms and conditions of their jobs, which they're protected to do under the Federal Labor Standards Act. But if you're out there making nasty comments, showing porn of yourself, anything else that could reflect poorly on your business, and you're in a right-to-work state like we are in Alabama, like you are in Georgia, you can fire them, right? But that's different than the government going after them and the government prosecuting them. And to hear her say that we're going to come after you if you make a negative comment toward Charlie Kirk, and I love Charlie Kirk. I thought he was fantastic. I'm just heartbroken at what happened to him. But the free speech is not worth protecting if you're not willing to protect speech you disagree with. That's the bottom line.
Amen. Look, well said. And back to your point, if I were to, and I wouldn't, but if I on this microphone were to utter the N-word, I would be fired before the next commercial break. But I couldn't be prosecuted for it. And this idea that we're going to prosecute people over saying things we don't like, it's abhorrent to the American system. And by the way, Charlie Kirk himself about a year ago gave a big speech in defense of the First Amendment and said you should not be punished by the government for saying things people in government don't like.
Well, I'll say this, Eric. If when the Democrats get back into power, and someday they will, they're definitely going to use Pam Bondi's words against us.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that I fear the most, because they do think you should be prosecuted for hate speech and speech that they disagree with. And how they define hate speech is anybody who's a Christian that opposes, gay marriage or thinks that the transgender thing's not a real thing or that it's mental illness, they'll come after us. They'll come after us. I mean, you already have states where you cannot have any type of transition therapy or detransition therapy. That's a speech issue to me. It always has been a speech issue to me.
Isn't there a case this coming year in the Supreme Court about that very issue?
Yeah, I believe there is one that's scheduled. I don't know if it's been docketed for oral arguments yet, but
I think it has. I seem to recall it's scheduled for December. I think it's out of Colorado. Chad, look, I appreciate the phone call. Yeah, there's Colorado banned therapy related to gender transitions, and a Christian therapist filed a lawsuit, and it's made its way to the Supreme Court. I believe it's scheduled for argument in December. But they've taken the case, which is good. Spencer, you're going to be up next. Welcome to the show, Spencer. How are you?
Good, Eric. It's nice to talk to you again. So my question kind of piggybacks off of what the last person that you had on just said. This kind of goes down the line of free speech and what might not be. So I was watching on Fox. They were showing clips of this most recent thing that Ilhan Omar said, and it just got me thinking, because we've been listening to her rhetoric for a while now, but she's in kind of a different position than your average person who's making comments. And do you think that there should be some form of like a universal code of conduct that people who want to serve in Congress have to, be held to? Because I just don't see, how does it make any sense that we have people that are supposed to be U.S. representatives and they're making anti-American comments, anti-Western culture comments. And I mean, imagine, for example, if Marco Rubio was going around saying stuff like Ilhan Omar. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. And I mean, we hold other people and other branches of government to different standards. Like, I'm pretty sure if you were serving in the military and you were on deployment and you got caught posting death to America, your CO would probably pull you off and have something to say to you. So if we hold them accountable for saying that kind of.
Here's the thing, and for those of you who don't know, well, first of all, Ilhan Omar did come out and condemn the killing and said it was reprehensible and offered prayers for her family, but then she started circulating tweets of other people, including one that called Charlie Kirk a stochastic terrorist with his last dying words spewing racist dog whistles and things like that. The problem is that the standards there can't really be one universal standard because the people in Ilhan Omar's district are different from the people in your district, Spencer, to the different people in my district. And she was elected by those people. And so those people are the ones who have to hold her accountable. Now, I will say this, the Democrats set a precedent by booting Marjorie Taylor Greene off certain committees for her words. The same could be said against Ilhan Omar, but you can't boot her out of Congress because she was elected by those people to represent those people. And you're not going to get the 2/3 vote to do it. I think what Ilhan Omar did was reprehensible, but she's also a member of Congress. I'll tell you what I also think is reprehensible is she's being targeted by Nancy Mace, introducing a measure that would kick Ilhan Omar off of several committees. Nancy Mace went to the floor of the House, taking advantage of the speech and debate clause, and smeared 3 men in South Carolina to try to advance her political career for governor there, including attacking the current Attorney General of South Carolina with things that everyone denies are true, but she took advantage of the fact that she can say whatever she wants to say and slander whoever she wants to slander, and she can't be sued for doing it on the floor of the House. So maybe someone with clean hands should be the one to go after Ilhan Omar instead of Nancy Mace. But again, just like in Ilhan Omar's case, it's going to be the voters of South Carolina who have to do something, not you or me.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1251, Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Red alert continues. Southside perimeter. Bad crash shutting down all lanes of I-285 eastbound. The outer loop at Moreland Avenue, exit 53. You're already jammed up before Jonesboro Road. If you're coming up from the southern suburbs, do not take 75 north if you need to get onto 285 east. Use I-675 as an alternate. Traffic brought to you by YRefi.com. Is private student loan debt ruining your life? It doesn't have to. Just go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com and get your life back. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 2
I
p.m.
am so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Just search FGA Roofing to get started with a free quote today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Let's see, it's still hot out, but football is back. That makes this September. Dave Baker here. Coolray says you can stay comfortable and watch football. They're offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation with the purchase of a complete Carrier system. And you know proper insulation is important. It's like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Call or go online at Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Missed part of today's show? Catch it again in full with the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 live stream. Available at ericerickson.com. Stream enabled for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Pretty big national news out of the state of Georgia. Just a short time ago, the Georgia Supreme Court has refused to take an appeal from Fani Willis. Fani Willis, of course, led the RICO case against Donald Trump and a bunch of other defendants, 16 others. The case went up on appeal to the Georgia Court of Appeals that disqualified Fani Willis. The Supreme Court was asked to review the appellate court's case. They said no, so Fani Willis is disqualified from prosecuting the case. The case will now have to go to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia to see if they assign it to a new prosecutor to continue it. However, Fani Willis was disqualified earlier from the investigation to the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Burt Jones. She claimed he was also a part of this, but she did a fundraiser for his political appointment, and the courts threw her off that case. And that was sent to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council, who decided there was no there and dismissed that case. So if they decided there was no there against Burt Jones, there's no there against these other 16 people, and the whole case should be thrown out. Feel sorry for those who decided they couldn't afford the legal bills, and so they settled the cases and pled to felonies and misdemeanors and the like. Had they been able to stick with it, their records would be clear, like these other people. There's going to be no prosecution here. Fani Willis has completely lost her credibility, and the taxpayers of Fulton County, Georgia, paid a lot of money for a case that went to nowhere and now won't go anywhere at all. Now, I want you to go get the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them, EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3, at EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code ERIC, ERICK, the number 3, no space, ERIC3. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm, it's small, it's portable. You can hold it in your hand. You can plug it in with a USB cord to your computer, to a car outlet, and power it up. I've done that in a car before. You can plug it directly into the wall as well. It generates plasma, which kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses that flow through the machine. It gets rid of the dirt, the pollen, the dust that flows through the machine, and then it generates ozone, goes out into the environment and wipes out every odor. You name it, litter box odors, dirty diaper odors, smoke odors, cooking odors, the odors from a rental car where someone smoked in the car before you got there. That's happened to me. Wipes out those odors too. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code ERIC3, ERICK3 at EdenPureDeals.com.
When the news matters to you.
The FAA says the flight crew was reporting possible smoke in the flight deck.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
Beef prices are going up.
Your 24/7 news source.
They had no ties to a gang, but they were killed by them.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Nelson Exteriors. We have a multi-car crash on 285 East on the south side. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center now. He's going to join us to help you get around it. Alex?
Yeah, it's a traffic red alert. It continues to be so, Sabrina. All lanes shut down. 285 eastbound, the outer loop, Moreland Avenue, exit 53. Delays almost stretch back to I-75 in Clayton County. I-20 eastbound. North of there is a good alternate. If you're coming up from the southern suburbs, take 675 northbound up to the south side perimeter. That will put you on 285 on the other side of this crash. Sabrina?
All right, thanks, Alex. Your weather for today, partly cloudy and isolated rain showers possible. Highs around 86, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Well, after multiple delays, electric vehicle maker Rivian breaking ground on their massive multi-billion-dollar plant east of Atlanta.
County and state officials celebrate the groundbreaking at Rivian's facility, which has been in the works since 2021.
1, 2, 3, dig! All right.
CEO RJ Scringe says it's been a long road, but he's happy to move things to Georgia.
It is just such an incredible state, and the environment is wonderful for recruiting to and wonderful for retaining amazing talent.
Construction on the 2,000-acre site is expected to take a couple of years, with cars set to roll off the line in 2028. In Walton County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Georgia Supreme Court declining to consider Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis's appeal of her removal from the Georgia election interference case against President Trump and others. The case will now be handed over to Georgia's Prosecuting Attorney's Council, which will be led by Pete Scandalakis.
And when the case does get to us, we're going to be looking at appointing a conflict prosecutor for the matter.
And Willis plans to make the case file and evidence available to the Attorney's Council. The suspected shooter in the assassination of Charlie Kirk making his first virtual court appearance today. The suspect, Tyler Robinson, allegedly made a confession about the killing online in a chat on a social media platform. Katrina Kaufman has more from Utah.
There had actually been some joking around between him and his friends in a chat. Someone had thought that the photos that were released looked like him, and he said that it was his doppelganger. Someone joked that he shouldn't go to McDonald's. That's the place where Luigi Mangione was arrested. But then, later on, there was this apparent confession, as well as another message where he said, "I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you all for everything." But as far as we know, he has not confessed to law enforcement, and they say he has not been cooperating.
And the virtual court appearance is expected later this afternoon. It's 1:02.
We did barbecued pork chops the other night that we got from Omaha Steaks. They were delicious. They were tender. My wife has this recipe where she basically, you turn the oven to 275. You put in your pork chops. You pour barbecue sauce over it, wrap it up tightly with foil, and go for about 2 hours. They fall apart. It was deliciousness, thanks to Omaha Steaks. And right now, you can take advantage of the red-hot sales of it at omahasteaks.com. You go to omahasteaks.com, you load up deliciousness in your cart, and at checkout, use promo code ERICK, E-R-I-C-K, get an extra $35 off, minimum order required. There's so much available. There are even desserts. My wife's caramel apple tartlets. I like the little mini chocolate cakes. They're delicious. You can get steaks. You can get seafood. They have great fish. They've been doing this since 1917. Take advantage of the red-hot sales event at omahasteaks.com today. omahasteaks.com. Use ERICK, E-R-I-C-K, as your promo code at checkout for an extra $35 off.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. I recently had two sets of customers who had vastly different stories. One had purchased elsewhere 3 years ago and spent $5,000. And the other had purchased from OMF 12 years ago and spent $1,000. The difference? Our customer's mattress lasted 4 times longer and cost them 5 times less. Don't waste money on overpriced, overhyped mattresses. Visit the Original Mattress Factory for unbeatable quality and value. Sleep better, longer, for less.
The integrity this company has is amazing. They are just unbelievable, start to finish.
Meteorologist Glenn Burns loves his Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows.
They made everything so easy. The planning, the installation was flawless. Just a perfect job, and now it just makes such a difference in the house.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
If you own a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, or any European import, come see us at Rocco's European Garage. Better value than the dealership, upfront and clear pricing with customer approval prior to us beginning, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. Rocco's European Garage.
Dave Baker for Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Looking for a new truck and looking for a great deal? Simply go to beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals and save money on a new Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming is the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Let's go back to Alex Williams.
Trying to make some progress down here with this red alert on the south side, Sabrina. They're starting to open at least one left lane, 285 eastbound, the outer loop at Moreland Avenue. You can also exit off there and re-enter 285 eastbound at the Moreland Avenue exit, so just think about that. Coming up from the southern suburbs, keep using 675 north to access that south side perimeter. And traveling through downtown, tapping that brake pedal, 7585 southbound from 17th Street down toward Cortlandt Street. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today with an isolated rain shower possible. High 86, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 87. Sunshine and hotter temperatures on Thursday, high 88.
81 degrees in Forest Park, 80 in Covington. Lilburn, you have 81 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 1:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
America, it's Eric Erickson here. I hope that you are doing well. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, we need to talk about TikTok. Don't want to talk about TikTok, but we need to talk about TikTok. You should know Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire is now publicly urging the President of the United States to fire Pam Bondi for embracing the progressive idea there's such a thing as hate speech. One of the things that Matt Walsh is pointing out is that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States of America, last night threatened to prosecute an Office Depot because the employees in the Office Depot did not wish to print flyers for a memorial for Charlie Kirk on a college campus. Now, I disagree with the Office Depot employees, and I suspect they've gotten an earful by now from their national headquarters. But it's not the business of the Attorney General of the United States or the Department of Justice to tell a small business or any business who it can and can't do business with, except on the issue of race in America, due to the amendments to the Constitution and the Civil War. Pam Bondi has no business prosecuting an Office Depot because they said they didn't want to print a flyer. What if someone came in with pornography and wanted flyers printed with pornographic material and they said no? Would Pam Bondi go after them? No. That's solely about she's on Charlie Kirk's side. The employees didn't want to print flyers for a Charlie Kirk memorial, so she's going to target them. That's unconstitutional by the Attorney General. And here's the point. Gordon Chang, one of the foremost authorities on China in the United States, pointed out today, we have real issues in this country, including with the incursion of the Chinese into the United States. And the Attorney General of the United States would rather waste her time prosecuting people in unconstitutional prosecutions than deal with the Chinese, who have so embedded themselves within our telecom infrastructure that our government has given up trying to figure out how to get them out. So our government is embracing something called a zero trust protocol. The idea is that you presume that the hackers are already in the system. And so you maintain hardware device management. If you can't trust anything, you make sure that the hardware on either side of the connection is your hardware to minimize breaches. The Chinese are so into our telecom system, the rumor is the government is finding alternate communication means for the government and military because the Chinese can otherwise find out our plans as they're being communicated over the telephone. In fact, according to the FBI, the CIA, the National Security Agency, and more, the Chinese have had access to all of our phone calls, yours too, and mine, for the last several years. That's how extensive the hacking is in our telecom infrastructure. The Chinese have basically been able to listen to every telephone call we've had, particularly over landline phones, but also over a lot of cell phones, because of the lack of security and the depth of the breach of our data from China. And Pam Bondi's more interested in Office Depot. That gets me to TikTok. Yesterday came news from Scott Bessent that the president was negotiating with the Chinese leadership about selling TikTok and that we would be able to divest TikTok from China. However, today comes word from the Chinese government that if they do divest TikTok to the United States, the Chinese algorithm must remain. This is from the Financial Times. Security hawks have raised fears the recommendation code could be manipulated to push propaganda. Beijing has said any American spinoff of TikTok must keep the algorithm. This is from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. and Chinese negotiators reached a framework deal on TikTok after 2 days of trade talks. Beijing has previously shown little appetite for a deal on the popular app, but likely conceded to an argument to keep it alive. Its ambitions for President Trump's visit to China. The deal will be confirmed by Trump and Xi Jinping after a call on Friday. The outline of the agreement came together as China escalated its regulatory campaign against NVIDIA. The Chinese regulators' action, according to people with the matter, was taken to provide Xi with political cover for the TikTok deal so he wouldn't appear weak to his domestic audience. A main question is whether Chinese negotiators agreed to let ByteDance part with TikTok's powerful recommendation algorithm as part of the deal. Beijing has placed this technology on its export control list and until recently had stood firm on that. Scott Bessent, who led the U.S. delegation, told reporters that a framework for switching ownership of TikTok has been reached. We're not going to talk about the commercial terms of the deal. It's between two private parties. The countries were running up against a Wednesday deadline to do a TikTok deal that had been extended multiple times. The Wall Street Journal won't say. The Financial Times says Beijing, in the sales agreement, has insisted that it still control the algorithm. I need all of you to put your, thinking cap on. Please. I need you to think as dispassionately as you can. Take the president, take Donald Trump out of the equation. Some of you get very, very, very defensive of the president. Some of you get great hostility to the president. I need everybody to step back dispassionately if you can. If you're capable of being a normal American who can think objectively and dispassionately about things, step into that space. Why is the United States government having to negotiate with the Chinese government over control of an app that is owned by an independent corporation? They tell us ByteDance is essentially a private corporation. Why is the Treasury Secretary negotiating with the leadership of the Chinese Communist Party if ByteDance is an independent entity? Why is the negotiation not with ByteDance? Why is the Chinese government insisting with any sale that the Chinese will still control the algorithm? If ByteDance is an independent company, how is it that the Chinese government, which includes the Chinese military, is involved in the control and oversight of the algorithm? And should we not be concerned as a people about an app in which people like Tyler Robinson, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, used and wanted to get, according to his neighbors, TikTok famous? Should we not be concerned when the Chinese government feels the need to oversee negotiations of the sale of the app and the preservation of its control of the algorithm of that app? Should we not be concerned by this? Take the president out of the situation. Y'all, this is like a big red flag. It should be to all of you that the Chinese, for the longest time, refused the sale of the company, and now they're saying, well, we will sell the company, but it's still going to be required to use the algorithm that we control in China. What we know is that the Chinese have used the app to spy on Americans. Listen to me. There are a lot of you right now saying you don't care. You get pleasure from the app. You enjoy the app. I just told you the Chinese have been listening to all of your phone calls. You don't care. You don't have anything incriminating. Okay, that's fine. You don't care. Did you give out your bank account? Have you mentioned your Social Security number over the phone? Have you had to give a credit card number over the phone? The Chinese have that now. You don't care that TikTok is under the control of the Chinese government. It's not. You get pleasure out of the app. Upstairs, your kid is also on TikTok and is learning that transgenderism is a normal thing because that's what's in the algorithm for the teenagers. You're downstairs laughing at the cat videos. Your kid's upstairs learning how to be an anti-Semite. You don't even realize it's happening in your own house because the algorithm for your kid is indoctrinating your kid to hate the United States. You don't see it on your phone, so you're like, I don't care. It's not my problem. And then 4 years from now, you're sitting at the local Waffle House or local diner complaining to your friends that somehow your kid became this rabid progressive. You never saw it coming. You sent your kid to church. You sent your kid to a God-fearing college or to no college at all. How did my kid become a progressive who thinks transgenderism is normal and the Jews are bad? Well, you let your kid play on TikTok, and the Chinese have been feeding him this algorithm that they insist on still controlling. I can't tell you the number of parents I know who are stunned when their good kid suddenly becomes a rabid progressive. And, well, how often was your kid on the computer? All the time on the computer, playing video games with friends. Right. The Chinese are indoctrinating your kids in their bedrooms, on their phones with TikTok. And you're like, I'm not giving up my cat videos. You can't make me turn off TikTok. I want my cat videos. The Chinese want you to have your cat videos too, while your kid is upstairs being served up a plethora of indoctrinating videos on transgenderism, the Palestinian cause, anti-Semitism, and why the United States is bad. But it's cat videos. For you, it is. Not for your kid. Not for your neighbor's kid. It's a damning indictment on TikTok that the United States government is having to negotiate with the government of China over this, and the Chinese government insists it will maintain control over the algorithm that not only spies on Americans, but shapes the mind of our youth and poisons the mind of our youth. You just want to be entertained. Get on Instagram. I mean, Instagram is run by an American company for Americans, a company that doesn't do business in mainland China because the owner of the company's wife, her family are refugees from Chinese communism, and they know enough to not dabble in the Chinese affairs. Instead, you've chosen the app that is controlled by the Chinese government. You're like, I'm just watching aviation videos and cat videos and cooking videos on TikTok. Great cooking videos. They're not indoctrinating me. No, they're not. They're distracting you so that you don't ask what your kid is looking at on TikTok. And when your kid becomes a full-blown commie, by then it'll be too late. That's what they want. And that's why we should shut down TikTok yesterday.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory continues. South side perimeter crash cleanup 285 eastbound. The outer loop Moreland Avenue. Exit number 53.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB Radio app. The WSB 5K Day Bonus Blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 2 p.m.
Y'all, it's Eric. Windows 10 is sunsetting. End of support on October 14th of this year. It's also my anniversary. No end of support for my marriage, just end of support for your computer if you're on Windows 10. You got to update. Now, what does that mean, end of support? It means Microsoft is going to stop issuing security patches for your computer if you're on Windows 10. So you actually do need to update for your own good and safety, and Vision Computers can help you transfer to Windows 11. How do you do it? You call them at 404-COMPUTE and say, Eric sent you, I need some help. They can get you upgraded to Windows 11. It is for your own good and safety and that of your company that you move to Windows 11 because of the security updates, if nothing else. So call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. Tell them Eric sent you. You might be able to save some money. You got to get it done before October 14th because you're not going to get security patches from Microsoft after that for Windows 10. Let Vision Computer take care of you. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com.
Dramatically improve the look of your home and make your neighbors say wow with a new garage door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Replace that ugly, outdated garage door with a beautiful, modern, energy-efficient door that will add to your home's value and curb appeal. At All Four Seasons, we offer fast service, affordable prices, and a huge selection of styles, colors, and custom features. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Strange noises in your attic? Those critters are not leaving without a fight. The Breda Wildlife Guarantee keeps you protected at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Want to save 1,000 bones on your next roof? Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. FindlayRoofing.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
So I've always liked Jamie Lee Curtis, the actress. One of my favorite movies is True Lies, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where she plays his wife. And I was encouraged to hear this on Mark Maron's podcast, asking her, if she's recorded last Friday, about Charlie Kirk. She's got a son who transitioned, has been a big defender of transgenderism, very, very, very progressive. And she started crying, talking about Charlie Kirk. And she says, this is the direct quote, "I disagreed with him on almost every point I ever heard him say, but I believe he was a man of faith, and I hope in that moment when he died that he felt connected with his faith, even though I find his ideas were abhorrent to me. I still believe he's a father and a husband and a man of faith, and I hope whatever connection to God means that he felt it." Then she went on to say, "I know there's a video of his assassination. I know people who've seen it. Yesterday we watched, again, these images of the buildings coming down. Today we're, as a society, bombarded with images, so we don't know what the longitudinal effects of seeing these towers come down over and over and over again, or watching his execution over and over again. We're inured to them. We're numb to them, but they're in there. We don't know enough psychologically about what that does. What does that do? That kind of, I don't ever want to see that footage of a man being shot." And she said, even though she disagreed with him about everything, no one should be killed for their political views. Thank you for having decency and common sense there. I just got to reiterate to you that a lot of people understand that porn is desensitizing and that it's harmful. Watching videos of people getting killed is the same thing. It desensitizes you to death. And I do not think it's healthy for people to watch these videos that keep circulating. I really don't. Instead, go to Hillsdale College and watch a course, videos of a great course, and improve your mind. Get your mind on something useful. Eric at ericforhillsdale.com is the website, ericforhillsdale.com. You go to ericforhillsdale.com. Hillsdale College has 40 different courses you can choose from. And you pick the class you want. Every class, the episodes are about 30 minutes long, and it depends on the class how many episodes there are. Some are 10, some are 12. There's one that's, I think, 14 episodes, but they're all 30 minutes each. They're done with some of the best faculty at Hillsdale College. They're highly informative, highly engaging. You're not going to go bored with these. Many of you listen to books on tape. Think about one of these free classes from Hillsdale College, whether it's chemistry or economics or math or political science or philosophy or history or literature or theology. You go to ericforhillsdale.com, ERICK, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College. Find one of these classes that sparks your interest. I recommend the one on the Federalist Papers or the one on capitalism. Sign up, take them at no charge to you. Eric for Hillsdale.com.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Wednesday at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, previewing a dramatic day, the fired CDC director set to testify on Capitol Hill, and why Clark's excited about his next food delivery. It's got nothing to do with the food on WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. Governor Kemp and other state leaders broke ground today on that massive multi-billion-dollar Rivian manufacturing plant east of Atlanta. It's going to be in Morgan and Walton counties. Rivian CEO saying it's been a long road to get to today.
Thank you all for being on this journey. Thanks for being on this incredible adventure and helping us turn that beautiful site that we see out there in the distance into a thriving manufacturing facility.
Now, the electric vehicle plant will occupy some 2,000 acres, and company officials hope to have cars rolling off the line by 2028. Your weather for today, partly cloudy. An isolated rain shower is possible. Highs around 86, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A blow for prosecutors in the case against Luigi Mangione after the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO last year. Mangione is still charged with second-degree murder for the killing of Brian Thompson, but the judge in the case dropped 2 state terrorism charges, saying that the evidence behind them was legally insufficient. The average cost to own and operate a car has fallen over the past year, but a new report finds it still costs you almost $12,000 a year.
The overall purchase price for the cars have come down a little bit, as has fuel costs for the past year and the finance charges.
That is AAA's Greg Brannon. He admits the price to own a car remains much higher than in past years, but the decline from last year, he says, is good for consumers. Actor and Oscar-winning director Robert Redford has died. He was known for movies including his breakthrough role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, as well as All the President's Men and The Natural.
My dad wanted me to be a baseball player.
That was Robert Redford there. He went on to direct and launch the Sundance Film Festival in 1985. Robert Redford died at his home in Utah in his sleep. He was 89 years old. It's 1:32.
Your friends at Steel Horse Law are motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They've mastered safely riding our Georgia roads, and they've mastered the unexpected twists and turns of Georgia law. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. With all the changes in Georgia law, you need the most experienced local motorcycle injury law firm to protect your rights. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Get a free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
We've all got one, and there's never just one thing on it. Your home improvement to-do list. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus covers everything on your list. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, the owner of Painting Plus. We do it all, and we do it right. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
The foods we eat can be downright bad for our health. This is Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've been teaching the truth about real bread. Not the stuff you buy at the store. I'm talking real bread made with freshly milled flour. When you buy bread from the store, take a look at the ingredients. Enriched flour means that the nutritious bran and germ has been removed to improve the shelf life. Then a few B vitamins and iron are added back to replace the multitude of nutrients lost. That's not enrichment in my book. And today, that label may even read contains bioengineered food ingredients. Food should never be bioengineered. At Bread Beckers in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real bread loaded with fiber and nutrients. A delicious, healthy, affordable solution that can improve your health and change your life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Hey homeowners, it's Eric Erickson here. Do your windows and doors stick? Are you noticing cracks in the drywall or the brickwork? You might have a big problem. Serious issues need the serious experts at Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Their skills are unmatched, as are their foundation solutions. When these guys repair a problem, it's the last time you'll have to worry about it. Done once, done right. Start today with a free inspection. Go to ESOGrepair.com. That's ESOGrepair.com.
Dial 678 ESOG now.
All right, 5 Team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Crash cleanup continues. South side perimeter, 285 eastbound. The outer loop at Moreland Avenue, exit 53. 2 right lanes are blocked, 2 left lanes are open. Now we're watching a jam up in Alpharetta. Crash cleanup as well. 400 northbound Haynesbridge Road, exit 9. 2 right lanes are blocked there. Delays back to Mansell Road. You can use a West Side Parkway or Highway 9 to scoot you around that. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through this afternoon. An isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm possible. High 86. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 87. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, high 88.
We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson across the United States. The phone number is 877-973-7425. This is the President of the United States of America. He was in the Oval Office talking about, well, what he's going to do in Memphis.
Given with all that's going on with Charlie Kirk's assassination and the left-wing violence going on, do you have plans, and actually this is a great opportunity with all these, do you plan on designating Antifa finally a domestic terror organization?
Well, it's something I would do, yeah. If I have support from the people back here, I think we'd start with Pam, I think. But I would, if you give me, I would do that 100%. And others also, by the way. But Antifa is terrible.
I played the wrong clip, pushed the other one, and that one came up. But this is related to the Memphis thing.
Today, at the request of Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, who's standing with us, as you know, I'm signing a presidential memorandum to establish the Memphis Safe Task Force, and it's very important because of the crime that's going on, not only in Memphis, in many cities, and we're going to take care of all of them. And step by step, just like we did in D.C., we have virtually no crime in D.C. right now, and we're going to keep it that way. It's our nation's capital. We're going to keep it that way, or we're going to federalize it if we had to, but we don't have to anymore because it's in such great shape. This task force will be a replica of our extraordinarily successful efforts here, and you'll see it's a lot of the same thing, although the numbers here are really something. They're really bad. Now, we did send FBI in about 4 months ago to work, and it brought some of the numbers down, and they did a great job, but we're sending in the big force now.
You know what? I want to get back to this in a minute. There's some breaking news happening, though. This is coming from Kash Patel, the director of the FBI. I have the audio here. We'll get back to the president's comments on Memphis and Antifa here in a moment. But this is from the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, to Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri. Let me reroute my audio here so we can get this. Happened in the United States Senate. Bear with me, folks. I'm
Getting a broader network of groups that may have had some knowledge of the shooter's plans. Can you give us any details on that, following up what you've already said in public? How's the FBI working to find other potential accomplices, folks who may have known about the shooter's plans, folks who may have encouraged him? Any update on any of that?
So in terms of what we do for an interrogation perspective, we go and reach out to the family and community immediately. And we've conducted those investigations and interrogations with local law enforcement, and we're continuing to do that because those closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is serve legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Okay, very good. I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
Wow, more than 20. people. Now, here's what we know, and you notice he says it unfortunately leaked. This Discord server, where if you're unfamiliar with it, so I'm up until they rolled over to their own thing. I had a account on Discord because I'm a member of a golfing group, and it's a nationwide thing. It's got several thousand members, and I had to get a Discord account to participate. They rolled it over to their own platform off Discord, but I'm a little bit familiar with it and have an account. But it's a lot of gamers use Discord when they're my son does this. He will watch someone play a video game. And it's entertainment for the kids these days to watch someone really good play this game. And then you can get into these Discord channels and you can have conversations. It's like instant messaging, but our large group chats, they're not secured, by the way. They're not end-to-end encrypted. And the Shooter Robinson was in one of these group chats. The rumor is it involved transgender activists and that he confessed in the group. What the leak suggests and what Patel seems to be suggesting is that they had advanced knowledge, some of them at least, that he was planning this. And there are rumors and allegations that individuals might have helped Robinson think about how to assassinate Kirk. In fact, we know that there were accounts that appear to be tied to some of the people in this group chat that as early as September 3rd were saying that something bad was going to happen to Charlie Kirk on September 10th. And a number of those accounts deleted their accounts on September 10th, the day of the assassination. On top of that, we have the old guy. Remember, initially, people said, oh, they got the shooter. And there was an old guy who has been over and held down on the ground. It turns out this man, based on initial reporting, decided at the time that if he acted like he was the shooter and distracted the crowd and police, it would give the shooter time to get away. Can we just dwell on this for just a minute? Because this is the disturbing one to me. This guy, by the way, he will be charged as an accomplice. I don't know that I can even relate to the mindset. I don't know that I can relate to the mindset of any American who would, standing within 20 feet of another American, watch that American get assassinated, shot in the neck, and immediately conclude watching an American be murdered before their eyes, watching any human be murdered before their eyes, think, I got to do something here and now to help the killer get away. I don't even know how to relate to that. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. That's evil. That is evil. There's a level of depravity. This is an older man. White head, bald head, white hair. Old man. Old man who decides then and there, based on what we know. Now, maybe they're going to look, was there actually foreknowledge? They are going to look to see if there was foreknowledge. But based on the initial reports, it was, his confession is that then and there, watching another American be assassinated, he thought, I got to help the assassin get away. Let me do something. I'll cause a distraction. There's a deep, 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 deep level of depravity, level of evil in someone who would do that. This is what we're dealing with. Just let me get my words together here. Live on the radio, talk show host. I can speak 3 hours a day, and this story just like drains my words. I want to address every American citizen. Hopefully you will stumble across this on your social media account if you're not listening to me live on the radio. And I want you to think about the elderly gentleman who saw his fellow American citizen, Charlie Kirk, assassinated 20 feet from him. And his first reaction was, I need to cause a distraction so the assassin can get away. When your first reaction is, I need to help the assassin, not the assassinated, that is pure evil. It's evil. And now I want you to think about all of the people on the left who have worked overtime to try to claim that the assassin was on the right or maybe had no political ideology, when actually the governor of Utah, the investigators, the family, the next door neighbors, they all say he was politically, ideologically aligned with the left. And now you have this guy who has been identified as a progressive, and his first thought was, after seeing Charlie Kirk assassinated feet from him, I need to help the assassin get away. We get lectured a lot about right-wing violence in this country. CNN last night. I'm a friend of Anderson Cooper's. I like him a lot. On his show last night, he did a segment on the president's words about left-wing violence. Says, well, actually, both sides do it, but this is right here and now. We have a progressive assassin and a man who was 20 feet from Charlie Kirk, who his first thought seeing Charlie Kirk assassinated was, I need to help the assassin. And now we have polling from YouGov that 25% of progressives in the country believe that violence is acceptable about political opponents. And we have more polling that shows young Americans, college-age Americans on the left believe violence is sometimes acceptable. You don't see those numbers on the right. Are there bad actors on the right? Yeah, I've had them show up at my house to threaten me and my family. I know there are bad actors on the right, but what I don't see in the American media is an honest conversation about the growing violence on the left. It's either about right-wing violence or both sides violence. It's never about left-wing violence, and we literally, think about this. Just please, all of you, for just one moment, exercise basic sympathy and compassion for a dead man. An American citizen is standing less than 20 feet from someone who was just shot in the neck. And that man's first reaction was, I need to be a distraction to help the shooter get away. There is something awful percolating on the left. There's something really horrifyingly awful percolating on the left, that anyone would have that reaction. And that man had that reaction. And in his distraction, did, it seem, buy time for the assassin to get away. And I'm gobsmacked that anybody could see another person gunned down in front of them, and their first reaction was, I need to help the killer, not the person being shot. And that's where we are, not with the majority of the left. And I'm not saying it's a majority, and the data doesn't show it's a majority, and I think most people were horrified by what happened. 25%, a quarter of self-described very progressive Americans, though, think it's acceptable. And by the way, an additional 6 to 7% said they don't want to answer the question. You know which way they're leading. So you got about a third of Americans who identify as very progressive, who think violence is the answer. And we are regularly hectored and lectured about right-wing violence by the press. Where's the standalone conversation about left-wing violence? If anything, that this elderly gentleman did this, if there are more than 20 people on a Discord server who may have had advanced knowledge and they kept their mouths shut, there should be a conversation. And you know and I know that conversation's not going to happen unless we force it.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
149 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory continues. Southside perimeter crash cleanup. 285 eastbound. The outer loop, Moreland Avenue, exit 53. Two right lanes are blocked. You're slow leaving Jonesboro Road. Better news in Alpharetta. The crash just cleared off to the right. All lanes are open. Georgia 400 northbound at Haynesbridge Road, exit 9. Traffic brought to you by Superior Plumbing. Presents North Georgia State Fair. Something for everyone. September 18th through the 28th at the Superior Plumbing presents North Georgia State Fair at Jim R. Miller Park in Marietta. NorthGeorgiaStateFair.com for more information. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Buying a new car? Need help fixing your current car? What's the safest car for a first-time buyer? The Car Guys have the answer. Join Shelley Winter and automotive expert Kevin Deutsch this and every Saturday at 12 for all your car needs. The Car Guys, presented by Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, Saturdays at noon on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
With our weather extremes, I wanted windows that would stand the test of time. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and I found them. I love my Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. I was blown away. They're energy efficient and incredibly durable. 8 times stronger than vinyl, so they last. Experience the fiberglass difference in your home or in their new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Hey folks, the heat hasn't let up, so mosquitoes, fire ants, and roaches are still at their peak. That's why I trust my Arrow Exterminators team member Ken to keep my home protected. Arrow's been family-owned for over 61 years, and they use the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available. And they guarantee 100% customer satisfaction. Call today for your free pest inspection at 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you.
Save money by getting pre-approved for your next auto loan at Coosa Valley Credit Union. We offer the most competitive interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with direct deposit. This is Andy Harris, president of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to stop in a branch near you. You'll experience kinder banking with real people, not automation. Plus, with 11 locations in Northwest Georgia, we're always local and nearby.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville. Online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Roaches are everywhere and just a part of life here in Georgia. Dave Baker here for Breda Pest Management, the experts that protect my home from those relentless roaches. Breda will protect the outside and inside of your home, and it's the roaches inside that you want gone. Have you seen roaches? Better call Breda. Make your home a crunch and squish-free zone. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters like roaches.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Well, we have some breaking news. George Zinn is the name of the 71-year-old man who stood 20 feet from Charlie Kirk, watched Kirk's assassination, and his first thought was, I need to cause a distraction so the assassin can escape. That in and of itself is real evil. You should understand that is evil. When your first thought as an American is, I need to help a murderer escape rather than assist the murdered, who you didn't know at the time was dead, that's real evil. TMZ is reporting George Zinn is now being charged with possession of child pornography, in addition to causing a distraction to help an assassin get away. He's got criminal charges now related to causing a distraction so the assassin can get away, and child pornography charges. George Zinn is an evil person. There's your real evil in the world, is this bystander who decided, I need to help a murderer on the spot at the time, spontaneously. His gut reaction was help the murderer, and also being charged, according to TMZ, with child pornography. Yep, evil. You know, times like this are clarifying because there are a lot of people who evil's this muddy concept, and it's not really. You occasionally run into real faces of evil, and this is a face of evil in the world. And I just, again, the fact that his first thought was help the assassin, not help the wounded victim, tells you everything you need to know about him, and add child pornography into it. And yeah, you're facing near quasi-demonic, if not demonic, just true evil in the world. Now, look, when we come back, we got to shift gears into other news because today is September 16th, 2025. I say that because we have less than 30 days until the government of the United States of America shuts down unless a continuing resolution happens. Democrats have announced their opposition to the continuing resolution. I want to talk to my conservative friends in the United States House of Representatives who have the opportunity to do the most fabulous, funny thing on planet Earth and own the Democrats. If they'll just be team players, I want to talk to you about it when we come back because it really is that important. And also, we'll get back to the situation in New York City where you literally have people dressed up as the Nintendo character Luigi, championing Luigi Mangione, who gunned down Brian Thompson, the CEO of the healthcare company. And very shortly, Tyler Robinson will make his first appearance in state court in Utah to face the charges against him. If that happens while we're on air, I will try to bring that to you live. Robinson being arraigned today in a state court. Because it's a state court, not a federal court, it will be televised. And we'll bring that to you if we can. Right now, I need to tell you about Swiss America because they've been warning people about a secret war on cash and how to protect your hard-earned assets. The government trying to steer you to using credit cards and debit cards instead of cash. Why? Because cash purchases tend to be anonymous, and they're trying to shut you down on that. It even extends into digital currency. Swiss America wants to help you protect your hard-earned assets now. They've been the nation's trusted leader in precious metals for over 40 years. They've got to report the secret war on cash. You can get your copy free by calling or texting my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. Again, 800-289-2646. Get the report. It's completely free from Swiss America. The Secret War on Cash takes less than 15 minutes to read. Just text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. Follow the link that they'll text back to you, or call them and tell them Eric Erickson sent you. They'll get your information. They'll send you the report for free. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. That's SwissAmerica.com/ERICK, or call or text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You may have a great-looking yard, but is your home's paint job failing in the curb appeal department?
Don't be that homeowner with the ugly paint that your neighbors talk about. Get Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield isn't just paint. It's an ultimate exterior coating that will improve your home's curb appeal, backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
Rhino Shield won't chip, crack, or peel. It's mold and mildew resistant, and its durability will not only protect your home from Mother Nature, but it can also make your home more energy efficient.
And it comes in any color, even your wife's favorite.
So beautify your home and get curb appeal for 25 years with Rhino Shield.
Check out our work and visualize Rhino Shield on your home at rhinoshieldga.com.
Or call 678-205-4500 now for a free quote, or visit rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield, it's better than paint.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. After multiple setbacks, electric vehicle maker Rivian breaks ground today on their manufacturing plant near Social Circle.
It's been 4 years since Rivian announced they would build a massive $5 billion facility here, and today CEO RJ Scringe says this is a great step forward for the company.
This is an environment that we see as a core part of our future. It's the foundation for our growth. It's going to enable us to build the scale into our business that we're planning for and have been working so hard towards for so many years.
Company officials expect to have thousands of cars rolling off the assembly line here by 2028. In Walton County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
82 degrees in Atlanta. Are there any rain chances in the near future? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. The Georgia High Court's decision not to hear Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis's appeal means the end of her role in any prosecution of President Trump. WSB legal analyst Ron Carlson says a conflict prosecutor assigned to take on the case could proceed or decide to simply walk away.
In all likelihood, this major Georgia Supreme Court decision will likely sound the death knell for this prosecution.
Carlson says the U.S. Supreme Court has already put additional legal hurdles in the way of any prosecution. The suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk is set to appear in his first virtual court appearance today. CBS's Anna Schechter reports Tyler Robinson allegedly made a confession in a chat on social media.
Even though he's not cooperating with investigators, they can use that message coupled with DNA evidence, other information like the fact that his father said that he acknowledged being the one that pulled that trigger. So they can pool all of this as they prepare their case and try to convince a jury.
At today's hearing, prosecutors are expected to formally announce charges. A judge in New York is dismissing state terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione, the 27-year-old accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The second-degree murder charges remain. Former Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan announces today he is running for governor as a Democrat.
Democrats have not gotten enough votes. I'm the only candidate who can show up in November of 26 and get Democrats, independents, and those disgusted Republicans to show up and vote for us.
He joins a field of other Democrats, which includes former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and former DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman. It is now 2:02. This news is sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Contractors and builders know Randall Brothers is Atlanta's premier building material supplier. Dave Baker here. Randall Brothers has a wider variety of building products than their competitors, so you can find the specialty stock you need fast. And their experienced reps actually know the job and the product, so you can bounce ideas with a dependable, knowledgeable partner. Randall Brothers, widest selection, industry expertise, accurate, no-hassle deliveries. RandallBrothers.com.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Your deck is more than just a place to flip a burger or have a cup of coffee. It gathers your friends and family on all your favorite occasions and is there to enjoy every day. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we build beautiful, high-quality decks at a reasonable price. We're licensed and insured, provide exceptional customer service, design help, and we'll work with the materials you want. Strength, durability, beauty. Decks done differently. Built by Nelson Exteriors. Get your free estimate. Google Nelson Exteriors.
This is Greg Trusinski from the Original Mattress Factory. I want to share the story of a couple I worked with recently. After receiving a quote from a competitor for a mattress, they visited OMF and found a mattress that was a great fit for them. They were so pleased with our quality and value that they ended up purchasing 2 mattresses, a box spring, headboard, and frame. Their total at OMF was roughly $400 less than what they would have spent on just the one mattress at the competitor. If you're ready to get better sleep for less, visit us at originalmattress.com.
Hey homeowners, it's Eric Erickson here. Do your windows and doors stick? Are you noticing cracks in the drywall or the brickwork? You might have a big problem. Serious issues need the serious experts at Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Their skills are unmatched, as are their foundation solutions. When these guys repair a problem, it's the last time you'll have to worry about it. Done once, done right. Start today with a free inspection. Go to ESOGrepair.com. That's ESOGrepair.com.
Dial 678 ESOG now.
It is 2:05. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. It's Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. A big jam through downtown into Midtown due to a crash, 7585 northbound. Just before you get to 10th Street, exit 250. It is in the second left lane. It's stacked up the ride, leaving I-20. On the south side perimeter, ongoing crash cleanup continues. 285 eastbound, the outer loop, Moreland Avenue, exit 53. 2 right lanes are blocked there. That's causing brake lights back to Highway 54, Jonesboro Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy through this afternoon. An isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm possible. High 86. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 87. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, high 88.
Right now, it's 84 in Douglasville, 83 in East Point, and 80 in Sugar Hill. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is today. T-O-D-A-Y. Go to the WSB radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is today. Join me live at 3 for the Von Hessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. I appreciate you being with me. I need to talk to the House Republican conservatives. I very much want to talk to them. However, I also need you to know that we are about to get a briefing out of Utah, from Provo, Utah, on the charges against Taylor Robinson, the assassin of Charlie Kirk. And I got to tell you, generally lawyers want you to say alleged. I'm pretty comfortable not using the word alleged myself, given this particular situation. But he is presumed innocent until found guilty by a court of law. And I think we all got to keep that in mind, that in this nation, we presume that people are innocent, and we do so because we have a system of justice that works remarkably well despite all the problems we have in this country, where citizens come together in a room and together through their collective wisdom, they mete out justice. Many of them having worked very, very hard to make sure that they don't have to be there, and yet they wind up being there, and they wind up doing this magic in a jury. It's not something people really want to do. Let's be honest. nobody really wants to sit in a jury and, well,
own admission that he is the perpetrator of it.
Trying to pull up the feed, and they're not there yet. So this is the background commentary. We don't need to play the background commentary. We're waiting for this. But so I was a lawyer for 6 years, active practice. I did a number of jury trials, and no one wants to be in the jury. Nobody wants to be there. I have served on juries, and I didn't want to be there. And, the upside is when I got to the position I'm in now and also being a lawyer, very often nobody wants me on their jury. But there have been 2 occasions in the last 25 years where I've had to be on a jury. In one occasion, we went into jury deliberations. It was a civil case, and they ultimately settled the case. Another case was a criminal case. And people really tried their best on the jury. And we make jokes a lot about, well, these are the 10 people too dumb to get out of a jury. In my particular case with the criminal trial I was on, they actually did need me, and the judge was a friend. So both lawyers, actually, the prosecutor and the defense attorney I knew, small town. And they're all like, we've got to have a jury, and they all wanted me on the jury. I couldn't get out. They all wanted me. I was screwed. So I got on the jury. I did not want to be the foreman. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was just the juror. And the guy was found guilty. I think it was a burglary. It was complicated in that it was a prominent member. He was a prominent family in town, and the guy had drug problems and very wealthy family. But every single person in the courtroom, in the jury, took the job very seriously. Every single person did. There are certainly parts of this country now where jurors oftentimes decide to engage in activism because of the situation. And thank God in New York City, the jurors did not find Daniel Penny guilty, because clearly the jurors had the interests of the local community at heart. And I think about that jury in New York City in that particular case, where they flat out refused to cooperate with the prosecutor. Because, Daniel Penny, the guy did die. He was put in a chokehold. He did die. He was alive in police custody. But the proximate cause...
My understanding is that
again. Stop it, people. The proximate cause of the death was that. Here we go now. I'm going to hop over here to the media feed and this is the press conference for Tyler Robinson. If I can pull this up.
All right, let's go down to Provo, Utah. And here is Jeff Gray. He is the Utah County DA announcing charges.
Charges and detail what the county's findings are up to this point, and then he will take questions. The number of questions may be limited, however. I may cut it off. I may assist him in helping to pick the people who are asking the question. We just ask that you keep the questions to the process of what we're talking about and refrain from asking questions that speculate or get into the political dynamic of the case. For Utah County, this is a murder case, and we're trying a murder case. We're trying to keep the questions to that, but I understand that you're under pressure and have a lot of different questions, and we'll try to answer them. We're joined today by our sheriff and our prosecution team and our county commissioners. Jeff is going to be the only one speaking right now, and I'll introduce right now County Attorney Jeff Gray.
The murder of Charlie Kirk is an American tragedy. Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic, the free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union. It is also an offense against the state and to the peace and enjoyment of the people of Utah and of all those who visit here. But Charlie Kirk's murder also strikes a more personal and intimate chord. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a father to two beautiful young children. He was a son, he was a brother, and a friend. Like all murders, the senseless and needless taking of Charlie Kirk's life has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his two young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heartfelt prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action .30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police. Children were present at the time of the shooting. The shooting. Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, organized a public outdoor event to be held at noon on September 10th, 2025 at UVU. The event was the first in a series of similar events to be held at college campuses nationwide. Mr. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist famous for these type of events where he discusses various political issues and debates with audience members. His events and comments have garnered a significant number of supporters and drawn the ire of many who disagree with his political views. The event at UVU was announced far in advance and garnered significant publicity and interest. Consequently, several hundred people attended. Mr. Kirk was interacting with a crowd before the event officially got underway. Then, at approximately noon, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a portable canopy behind a table and microphone. He began speaking to the crowd and fielding questions from attendees, a format Mr. Kirk commonly used at his events. Mr. Kirk allowed his questioners to approach a microphone positioned directly in front of him.
That's the district attorney there in Utah County, Utah, Jeff Gray, announcing that he will seek the death penalty against Tyler Robinson. 7 charges, all but 1 are felonies, 1 misdemeanor, the big one being murder of Charlie Kirk. And as they said, this is not about the larger national issue here. This is about the murder of a human being in that county. And because children were present, there are escalating circumstances that they can add in, as well as witness tampering and charges like that. So they will add a bunch of charges to make sure they get him on something, but they're going to seek the death penalty, which is appropriate in this case.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Some better news with the crash we were following on 7585 north into Midtown, right before 10th Street next to the Varsity. They moved it all to the right, all lanes open. Still seeing the brake lights back to University Avenue. And that earlier crash, 285 eastbound, the outer loop in Moreland Avenue, exit 53, been out there for a few hours. That is cleared. All lanes now open there as well. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $400 million. Now with bigger jackpots, better odds, and a built-in multiplier. Drawings every Tuesday and Friday. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is today. T-O-D-A-Y. Go to the WSB radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is today. Join me live at 3 for the Von Hessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5 p.m.
Hey homeowners, it's Eric Erickson here. Do your windows and doors stick? Are you noticing cracks in the drywall or the brickwork? You might have a big problem. Serious issues need the serious experts at Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Their skills are unmatched, as are their foundation solutions. When these guys repair a problem, it's the last time you'll have to worry about it. Done once, done right. Start today with a free inspection. Go to ESOGrepair.com. That's ESOGrepair.com.
Dial 678 ESOG now.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
If your basement has any issues like condensation, wet floors and walls, or musty smells, that can be a sign that your home might be due for waterproofing. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can help. Just visit aquaguard.net and set up a free inspection. Remember,
AquaGuard. Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years. Woo! The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Selling and buying a home doesn't have to be a juggling act. With Orchard, you get cash up front to buy your next place, then more cash when your old home sells. Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
I'm going to go back to this press conference to Jeff Gray. He's the Utah County District Attorney in Provo, Utah, for just a couple minutes here as we listen to him interacting with the press in his press conference, taking some questions as well.
That was again not spent. The last 3 were not spent, were not fired. The second, hey fascist, catch with arrow symbols. The third cartridge, oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow. The fourth cartridge, if you read this, you are gay, LMAO. The rifle, ammunition rounds, and towel were sent for forensic processing. DNA consistent with defendant was found on the trigger, other parts of the rifle, the fired cartridge casing, 2 of the 3 unfired cartridges, and the towel. Law enforcement was unable to immediately locate the shooter, so they published photos of the shooter from the UVU surveillance cameras and asked for the public's help to identify him. Meanwhile, law enforcement continued to try to identify the shooter through other means. The Washington County investigation. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, as law enforcement continued their investigation, Tyler James Robinson went to the Washington County Sheriff's Office with his parents and a family friend to turn himself in.
And that right there is probably the most important point. He turned himself in. Why you're hearing no one use the word alleged. We'll come back to this, but we got to take a hard break here. But first, I need to tell you about Vision Computers. If you're a company and you have managed IT, that is, you don't have someone that you're paying big bucks to be on site all the time to keep you up and going. You rely on an outside vendor. Vision Computers might be able to save you some money. They work with companies in all 50 states. So they're headquartered in Atlanta, but they've got a national network, and they're very good. And unlike probably most managed IT companies, they actually have people that your employees can talk to as opposed to filing email tickets or a chat bot that they use. So they call a special number in 15 seconds or less, somebody answers the phone. So they keep you up and going far longer and better than other managed IT services. You go to visioncomputers.com or you call them at 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you. You might be able to save some money. They can also build you for your home, for your office, great computers, laptops, desktops, PCs. VisionComputers.com or 404-COMPUTE. Call Vision Computers, see if they can help you.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News.
Weather.
Traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. Moments ago, a prosecutor in Utah announcing charges against the suspect accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk.
Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others.
County Attorney Jeff Gray says he plans to seek the death penalty against 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He's also charged with felony discharge of a firearm and obstruction of justice. This just in, an arrest is made more than 2 months after someone stole unreleased Beyonce music in Atlanta. The theft was reported at Krog Street Market July 8th, days before Beyonce's first Atlanta concert. The suspect identified today as Kelvin Evans. He was arrested in Hapeville. Police say he'll face a charge of entering an auto with intent to commit theft. Beyonce's choreographer and a dancer parked a rental car in a parking deck, and when they returned, it had been broken into. Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis is permanently off the Georgia election interference case against President Trump and others. The state Supreme Court today declines to consider her appeal. The case will now be handed over to Georgia's Prosecuting Attorneys Council, led by Pete Skandalakis.
And when the case does get to us, we're going to be looking at appointing a conflict prosecutor for the matter.
The conflict prosecutor will then decide whether to proceed or dismiss the case. It is now 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so who you work with matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate are the most experienced real estate team in the U.S., and you can trust them to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed cash offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Dave Baker here with a custom spacious closet from Artisan. You'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
It is 2:34 and time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
New delays up through Union City on I-85 northbound approaching the south side due to a perimeter due to a crash. 85 northbound before I-285 exit 68. Couple of right lanes are taken out there. Elsewhere downtown, that volume's filling in for the afternoon. 75-85 southbound 17th Street down to Cortlandt Street. Northbound still slow leaving University Avenue up to the crash. They moved off to the right just before 10th Street exit 250. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today with an isolated rain shower possible. High 86, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 87. Sunshine and hotter temperatures on Thursday, high 88.
Right now it's 86 in Conyers, 84 in Ackworth, and 82 in Locust Grove. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Sharp analysis, cutting through the chaos, giving unfiltered takes on politics, culture, and faith. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Well, I'm going to have to save my talking for the Republicans and the House conservatives till tomorrow, I think, with all this going on. So we've got the charges now in the Charlie Kirk case: aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, 2 counts of witness tampering, and commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Those are the 7 charges against Tyler Robinson. The district attorney notes he turned himself in. Now, multiple reports have come out since then that he has been uncooperative since he got there. He has refused to speak to the prosecutors, refusing to do anything. We know that his roommate, alleged partner, has been cooperating with the police, and others have as well. We know that his family has cooperated with the police and also said he admitted to them he was the shooter. Apparently, he admitted in a Discord chat as well that he was the shooter. And then the ultimate issue was turning himself in and confessing to the police at the time that he was the shooter, but then being uncooperative thereafter. To the phones we go here. Brad, welcome to the Eric Erickson Show. How are you?
I'm good, Eric. How are you doing?
Great. What's going on?
Question. Since you are a lawyer, if you were to defend this gentleman in this case, would your tactic be to try to remove the death penalty from the table, being as how all this evidence is pretty overwhelming that he would be convicted? And if that's the case, would and should the prosecution accept that kind of a plea deal, taking the death penalty off the table? Because I think if that happened, it's going to open a whole nother can of worms, as far as outrage is concerned, if this guy doesn't end up getting the death penalty.
Okay, so Brad, you are the winner of the day for asking such a great question. I appreciate it, and I've got the answer for you here. So sit back and listen to me for a minute. In a normal circumstance, a district attorney would more likely than not accept a plea to end the case. Justice is not, as far as most prosecutors are concerned, whether or not you get the death penalty. Justice is you get the deal. And I don't know that that's going to be the situation here. to reset for everybody from Brad's question. Given the charges and that the district attorney has decided to seek the death penalty, shouldn't the position of Tyler Robinson's defense attorney be to cut a deal to avoid the death penalty? As a lawyer who did criminal defense, yes. Doesn't mean you're going to get the deal. In normal circumstances, a district attorney will cut a deal, take the death penalty off the table in exchange for plea and everything else, and then within a month you can do a sentencing and the person goes to jail for the rest of their life. And it's over and done with. However, district attorneys are elected individuals. And in very high-profile cases, it actually could hurt them politically to take a deal that takes the death penalty off the table. It is a political decision. You will note the district attorney said he made the call without consulting anyone else and under pressure from no one else. It was his call to do the death penalty. He's making it about his judgment. So because he said that, and he wanted that known because there has been questions about pressure coming from the White House and elsewhere, he's making it his own call. He's not going to change his mind more likely than not. Because on top of this, on the Tyler Robinson side, because Robinson turned himself in and confessed, you don't need to give him a deal. See, very often you get the deal because you know it's him, but he hasn't confessed. You want to get a confession. You want to bring justice. Justice isn't just the death penalty. Justice is putting someone behind bars for the rest of their life. Well, you don't need a confession. You've got it by him turning himself in, so you don't need the deal. Now, what could happen is the defense attorney concocts the story that he was emotional, he was overwhelmed, his family put pressure on him to make him confess, and you could go that way. But that's not going to work in this case, I don't think, given the family. The dad is law enforcement, or was retired law enforcement. And I don't think they're going to be able, the DA is, the defense attorney is going to be able to do something like that with Tyler Robinson. I suspect you're not going to get any sort of deal here. I suspect they're going to go through the trial. And the overarching number one monumental piece of evidence is Tyler Robinson surrendered himself to law enforcement as the killer. Every other bit of evidence comes from that. So let's stack the evidence up as now. Here's what you got to understand is the district attorney can tell us every bit of evidence that he has because the district attorney is required to give to the defendant every single bit of evidence. Every single thing that the district attorney intends to use at trial has to be given to the defense prior to trial, and they get the opportunity to contest it or respond to it. So let me just give you the basic pieces of information. 1, Tyler Robinson showed up at the sheriff's office, surrendered, and said he's the shooter. 2, DNA on the trigger of the rifle found at the scene of the crime matches Tyler Robinson's DNA. 3, the ballistics show it was that rifle from which the bullet was fired that killed Charlie Kirk. 4, that rifle was wrapped in a towel, and that towel contained the DNA of Tyler Robinson. 5, Tyler Robinson told his roommate to delete their text messages where he said it was him. 6, Tyler Robinson encouraged others to also delete text messages and to lie to the police. We don't even need to get 7. That's pretty compelling evidence right there. When you say I'm the killer, the gun is yours, the DNA on the trigger is yours, the DNA on the towel in which it's wrapped is yours, you've told people where the gun was, you had knowledge of where that gun existed, then I'm sorry, but look, if I were a DA, I would say no deal in this case. You got to understand as well, I mean, as I said, there's a political sensibility here. There's a political sensitivity here. In a lot of cases that are not high-profile cases, you want to get justice and move on. And justice is guilt and punishment. Forget the level of punishment. So if Tyler Robinson randomly killed someone going into a grocery store, fast food, getting gas, something like that, was not a prominent person, didn't turn himself in, didn't surrender. It took him a while. They figured out it was him, and he finally confesses and says, yes, it's me. In exchange for a plea, I'll confess and say it was me. You give him the plea. Why? Because you speed this up. You minimize the use of resources. You move on to the next thing, and you provide justice and closure. One of the things district attorneys do think about is the impact on the victim's family. What would have more impact? Knowing Tyler Robinson turned himself in, all the evidence pointed to him, a jury finds him guilty and sentences him to be executed, and 5-10 years from now he's executed. Or you take the plea and know that he might outlive you in prison. See, in Utah, they will go through the motions in Utah, and you've got criminals who sit on death row for 20 years, 30 years. Some people die on death row of natural causes before they get executed. But in profile cases like this, they make sure they move it along. You get all the appeals you want. But the bottom line problem in this particular case for Robinson now is that he turned himself in. That's going to limit a lot of future appeals. The DNA matching his on all of this limits a lot of future appeals. There's not a lot of question. That's why no one in the press is saying alleged, because he turned himself in. That's going to limit his future appeals, which is going to make it more expeditious to execute him. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this district attorney is thinking that for closure in this case is Robinson gets executed. Great question, Brad, by the way. Great question. I don't see how Robinson's attorney is able to cut the deal to get out of the death penalty. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get the death penalty. He's got to go before a judge and a jury. But I suspect, given the fact pattern of the case, he will. There's an extra level in aggravated murder. There's an extra level there that, and I'm not a Utah attorney, and I don't know it, but I know the general parameters enough to say that because Robinson killed Kirk, because of his political views, as the DA said, and in front of children who Robinson knew were going to be there, particularly Charlie Kirk's own children, there's an extra level of depravity that checks the boxes for, does this person deserve the death penalty? He didn't just kill someone. He killed them knowing his children were going to be present, other children were going to be present, and did so for political views. That's a level of depravity there that adds up to the death penalty. If he pleads guilty, now, I don't know about the law in Utah. As I said, I'm not a Utah lawyer. Can he plead guilty and still take the death penalty and get it over with quick? Generally, no. In most states, you can't plead guilty and be assigned the death penalty. I don't know about the law in Utah, though. Maybe that's the case in Utah. You know, Utah also has firing squad, by the way. Death by firing squad is an option in Utah. It's far quicker and less painful and more humane than probably even lethal injection. We'll see where this goes, but I suspect we're going to have a trial. It's going to be televised. It'll be in court, and we will hear all the facts come out and be able to watch it. And Lord knows the next courtroom celebrity will make their rise to fame on the TV networks and get their next reality show covering this. It won't be me. Now, let me go to Michael. Michael in Orlando, Florida. You're going to be the last caller for the day. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. What's going on?
Yeah, so just to kind of follow up real quick, I know you're going to run out of time on that. So the thoughts on the death penalty, and I like you brought up there is maybe it's not even allowed for him to plead guilty. I don't know why that would be true, because if he's truly guilty and he knows he's truly guilty, wouldn't it be the ethical and right thing to do to just plead and take your punishment?
I mean, I think that it is, and I will say it's constitutionally permissible. But so I will cheat and say I'm Googling this because again I'm not a Utah lawyer. I'm licensed in Georgia, and I'm actually on the inactive list. But I will say that at the federal level you cannot give someone the death penalty if they plead, and in most states you cannot plead. You cannot be given the death penalty if you plead, and there are some cases at the federal level that have suggested that death penalty in cases where there's a plea or out of bounds that hasn't been applied to the state level, it potentially could be applied to the state level. But yeah, generally speaking, if you plea in a capital case that is death, it takes the death penalty off the table. That's the general rule of thumb under the law.
Yeah, I think I would just, not that he deserves any kind of respect at all, but certainly would be a little more respectable if he just came out and said, yeah, I did it. I'm willing to accept my punishment.
And, here's the thing, too, and for everybody who wants the death penalty, and full disclosure, I do too, and Michael, thanks for the phone call. I do too. I'll be honest with you. I think I take a Genesis 9, God says anyone who says the blood of a man should have his blood shed by man. I'm a proponent of the death penalty. God says so. For those of you who say, actually, God says, thou shalt not kill, actually, it's murder. And you know it's murder because if you flip one page over the Bible, there's a whole list of people that you're supposed to kill. Murderers being one of them. But the issue is closure. Do you get closure with or without the death penalty? And it depends on how you look at justice. And some people will say that you will find closure by pleading this case out, putting him behind bars for the rest of his life, knowing that he will never leave, and the family will be able to have closure on the situation and not have to relive this, as opposed to going through a trial where they're going to have to relive everything and drag it out. And then you got to wait years and years and years and years and years until the death penalty actually takes effect, and then maybe you get closure there. So there's an argument on both sides here. However, I'm cheating a little bit by going to Google because I know it's a general rule, but I am looking, and it does look like in Utah as well, that if you plead guilty, it takes the death penalty off the table. Don't hold me to that, but in most states it does. Under federal law, federal guidelines prohibit the death penalty if someone pleads guilty to a capital offense, and most states do that. My suspicion is Utah is one of those states. Google seems to suggest it's one of those states, but I'm not going to sit here and try to do the legal deep dive to tell you so. But they don't need to take a plea in this case because they've got him turning himself in, and they've got all the DNA evidence as well. It will not be a long trial when it gets to that point.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
251 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Been watching a crash on the south side, hopefully clearing up. 85 northbound out of Union City, approaching I-285, exit number 68. And now DOT reporting a crash, west side inner loop, 285 northbound, the inner loop at I-20, exit number 10. We're going to see what lanes are blocked there. If you're traveling 400 northbound in Forsyth County, there's a crash at Highway 20, Beaver Drive, exit 14, blocking at least one lane. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Head to your local Whole Foods Market for September stock up. Save on meal solutions for busy schedules, including fresh produce, pantry staples, and household essentials now through September 16th. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 5
I am
p.m.
so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
You know the saying, age before beauty? Well, many Atlanta homes built in the 80s and 90s are really showing their age and not so much beauty. Roofs are leaking, windows are drafty, paint is peeling everywhere, and that front door, well, might as well say Y2K, here we come. So many projects, and that means hiring a bunch of contractors, right? Wrong. Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. When you bundle several projects with Exovations, you can save time, money, and coordinate everything all at once for a truly stress-free experience. From the roof shingle at the top to the last drop of paint on the bottom, Exovations does it all. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, decks, gutters, and more. And with Exovations, you know we'll do your project on time, on budget, and without all that stress you usually hear about in construction. Schedule your free consultation today at exovations.com and bring your home into this millennium.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
Call 800-838-8614. 800-838-8614. That's 800-838-8614.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
I got a bit of audio that I need to play for you that happened during commercial break from the district attorney in Utah County, Utah.
Not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. The search for Robinson's residence. Police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near.
He goes on to say that Robinson said of Charlie Kirk, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Please stop saying this kid was on the right. He was not. He was a progressive radical. Now, I need to tell you about my bank, Old Glory Bank. They're on the conservative side. They got started because of the debanking trends that were happening on the left with a number of major banks, and they would love to do business with you, and you can do business with them at oldglorybank.com/Eric, oldglorybank.com/ERICK. Old Glory Bank is a bank started in Oklahoma. It has spread nationwide. It's an online bank, but they figured out how to deposit cash. You can do mortgages, car loans, CDs. You can get a business account as well. They've got great business accounts. You can get a no-fee checking, no-fee savings account. I have both. You can get an interest-bearing checking account. If you're a veteran, they have really great deals for you as well. And businesses, they're very hands-on. helping businesses grow, sending people to understand your business so they can work with you. OldGloryBank.com/Eric is where you want to go. By conservatives, for conservatives, and really their mission is to help you grow. OldGloryBank.com/Eric. OldGloryBank.com/ERICK. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
All the notifications you need.
The story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
If you're thinking of getting a new-to-you used car or a new car, I have a new car cost calculator at Clark.com, and you'll see what's it actually really going to cost you. Not just what the monthly payment is, which we help you calculate, but also what's the depreciation going to be on it? What's the insurance likely to be? What's the maintenance and repairs on it likely to be? So that if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm getting a little tired of what I have, and you see what it would cost you for that new vehicle or a new-to-you used vehicle, what it's going to cost you per month, and for the life cycle when you own it, you'll see it staring you in the face. Maybe you'll decide what you already have is just fine and keep on driving it. I'm Clark Howard.